everybody, this is Bonnie and I'm coming to you today on a Monday and going to share a video. I've decided that Facebook Live is just hard for me to do 2 lives with my husband having doctor's appointments and stuff, so I'm going to share a video on Monday and then I'll go live on Wednesdays like always, and then I'll also share a video on Friday. So I hope that you guys all understand, and let's get started with today's video. So I don't know if you guys have seen out there in, it's been around for a while. I've never seen it. I was on the demonstrators website and I saw this lady make this pop-up box thing, and I just was like, oh, I love it. And she says, well, you can find the directions, but they're in German. And I'm like, oh boy. I don't know how to read German. So I went ahead and watched several other videos, but again, they were either all in centimeters or in another foreign language. So I kind of watched, kind of got the idea. Then after I fiddled around, I watched somebody that did a big box like this that's 3 by 3. I'll show you what it does. And when you hold it down, it pops. I didn't let it go soon enough. When you hold it down and you let it up, it pops. Well, I didn't want it that big. That's pretty big for me. Anyways, I didn't want it that big. I wanted it smaller. I'm going to open this. I gave this to my husband for his Father's Day gift. I'm going to open this and it's going to go everywhere. And this is what it does. Is that not cool? Now, I didn't open it real fast because I didn't want a huge mess everywhere. But I wanted my boxes 2 by 2. Now, I've learned a few tricks and tips that I want to share along the way with you that I've learned from making several of these boxes, and different ideas and how I've made them smaller. So I'm going to clean this mess up and I will get right back with you. Okay. So the first thing you have to decide is what paper you want to use. There's a lot of different papers out there, different paper pack or whatever. And I'm just using a couple sheets here for an example. So I am going to be using this seafoam, soft seafoam, and we need to bring in the trimmer. Now I have my little cheat sheet directions over here, and we're going to make a cube, but you need, I call it cube 1 and cube 2, but it makes 1 cube. But so you need 2 pieces. So for cube 1, we need a 5 by 6. Oops, I forgot to open this. And I know everyone's probably saying, you're holding that trimmer upside down. I am left-handed. I can't use the trimmer the right way. It just doesn't feel right to me. So I use it upside down. So you need a 5 by 6, and then you need a 4.5. Oops, I almost cut it the wrong way, see? 4.5 by 6.5. So it's just like that. And don't worry, I'll get all the directions and everything over on, I'm going to post this on my blog. So it'll be over there on my blog too. So there won't be a different, normally I don't post the same things on my blog as I post online, but for this I will. So all my information will be over on my blog. So then we're going to get out the score. So we got out the Simply Score. And with the one that is 5 by 6, get my directions up here, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 2.5 and at 4.5. Then we're going to turn it and we're going to score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. We're going to set this aside for a minute. And then on the other one that is 4.5, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches. Now you want to make sure this 1/2 inch score line is at the bottom. So 1/2 inch score line's at the bottom, and then you're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 2.5 inches and at 4.5 inches. Okay, and now we will set this aside. And you would do this for however many boxes you want. So then what I find best, and this is just me, maybe it's because I'm old and got bad eyesight, but I like to draw lines, because one thing I've noticed with these boxes is you really want to cut this precise. So I find that you take a ruler, you're going to take this score line, or joint right here, to this score line. But we're going to go all the way off so that we're getting our little tick marks, or not tick marks, what do you call them? When you have to cut in on the end. So you would score there. Then we're going to come around here. I'm going to go from this one to this one. It's called your cut-ins, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm saying it wrong. And then this is a little square that has to be cut off. So I can just draw that right in the ditch of the score mark. And then, I'll make sure I stay on camera. And then we're going to go from this mark to this mark. You could probably, if you feel comfortable, but I find that I get a more accurate, oops, not over there. A more accurate cut if I do it this way. And then you want to make sure you're right on this line, and this angle doesn't matter, but right here does. So make sure you're right on the edge of that score line. So that is what you need to do to one, and I've already done it ahead. You would need to do that to both of these cards. So then what we're going to do, so I'm going to move these out of the way. So then we're going to come back in with our trimmer. You can cut these with scissors, but again, I find that it works best if you use your trimmer. So I'm going to line up our score mark, or our pencil mark, and I can see that that's lined up, and I'm going to just cut it off. It's a nice straight mark. Now, if you have a little pencil mark, it's okay. You can always erase it, but I think the straight edge is what is the key to making sure this box goes together just perfectly. So then you're going to cut that, and then we're going to come over here, and I seen that my pencil mark wasn't quite perfectly straight, and I didn't want to cut off that little tip, so I moved it over. I'm going to put this down a little closer to me. Now for this little square, on your trimmer, there's a little line right here on the trimmer. I don't know if you could pick that up in the camera or not, but there's a little line on your cutters. And if you line that line up with that score mark, you're going to cut this off just perfectly. And then we're going to do this one. I'm hoping that this is all in the camera good. And then we're going to go the same thing. I'm going to line it up with this little pencil mark right there. See if it comes out. It doesn't. So we're going to go back in just a tad bit more. And maybe it's my other way. But it's just hanging. So there. Got it off. And then we're going to line this one up. And we're going to do the same thing. You're going to have to kind of go slow on this one. It might be even better to do it this way, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. So it would come towards you. So then you're just going to come all the way down. And you're going to just kind of stop right there. And see? And then we have a nice, good edge cut. And I've gone ahead and done both of them. And so now we have two nice edges is what we want of these. You need two of these to make a square. So let me get this stuff out of the way, and I'll show you the first thing we got to do. You want to have you need to fold these to give these some creases. I find it's best to do this part first before we do the actual scoring of all the score marks. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick this up, and you're going to line this edge up with that score mark right across there. So we're just going to line it up, and this is where you take your time doing this stuff, because this is where you want to have it to come out very nice. You don't want to rush, just take your time. So then we have that, and then we got to do one more. You want to take this corner, and you want to, this edge, and you want to line it up with that edge. So we're taking it, and we're lining it up with the edge. So now it looks like that. Now you can go ahead, and we're going to do the same thing to the other side. We're going to take this edge, and we're going to line it up to here. And just do it very, you know, take your time. And then we're going to take this edge and line it up to there again. And I really think that this, you know, taking your time, cutting it, and doing it slow is what's going to make it come out really good. Now we can score on all the other score lines, like this. I like to I don't use a bone folder for this. I find it's better that if you just use your fingers. I think too much scoring, after a while, it could lose its little oomph, I guess. And so I didn't want a lot of scoring. Now, there's one more thing we got to do before we can put the box together. We got to punch some holes. So we're going to line this back up. So both of these are facing my left. Both of these arrows are facing my left, and they're lined up all the way around like that. Then we're going to come in, and we're going to bring the crocodile in. And or whatever hole punch you have. I'm using the small end on the crocodile. I'm eyeballing about how far I want it to go up. And then I'm kind of trying to match up the other side just from eyeballing. If you want to be precise, you can, but I just eyeballed that part. This is okay to eyeball. Then you're going to come up here, and you're going to cut up a little ways, maybe a 1/4 of an inch. Then you're going to come in from this side and make a tiny triangle. You don't have to be huge, just a little tiny triangle. And we're going to get them out of there. Same thing, come in from this side. And I'm doing both of these together. So it's, you know, you're cutting through both papers. Okay, so you have that. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to come in and we're going to cut at like an angle right into that hole. Stuck to my scissors. Come in like an angle. So I did that to the holes. Okay, so now we have our triangles facing this. We have one going up like this, one going up like this, and we have this tab here and nothing here. So we're going to take and we're going to put our score. Now remember, you can do this along with me. Stop the video, start it again. You know, that's a good way to learn. And then once you learn it, you keep on going. So then I'm going to remove this with a pokey tool I got here. I'm just using some tear and tape, but you don't want anything wonky here. So I do bring in, I bring in the glue, the liquid glue, and I just add a tiny bit wherever there is no tape. So then you're going to line this point and this point up with this point and this point. So you want them to line up really good up to the score line, like that, and then you want to press down. So now we have this. Well, we don't want that piece on our outside because then it would show our tab, so we want to flip it over. When you flip it over, you want to pull this up, push this in, and over. So see how I did that? I'm going to show you again on this side. Pull this up, push this in, and over. And then just kind of give it a little score. Get everything so it's, you know, how you want it. Make sure it's all nice and flat. And then we're going to take another piece of score tape. And we're going to put a piece right here. Like that. We're going to remove this. Like this. I'm going to bring in the glue. We're just adding, like I said, a very tiny bit to wherever there is no score tape. Because you want all those corners and flaps down. Now you want to make sure you're not getting on top of this, and you want to make sure that you're in between these two, this flappy thing. And you're, again, lining up the two pieces. Just like that. So see how I lined that up? Okay. So now we got that lined up. Now we got a little bit of stuff we got to do. You're going to push this down. So it's like that. Then you're going to take this one and you're going to push it inward. And you're going to take this one, and I'm kind of holding my finger here, if you can't see, down here in the bottom, to help me, and then to help me keep everything else out. So we want it to look like this right now. You kind of see it forming? Well, then I got to get my bag of rubber bands. These I got at the dollar store. We have called a Real Deals here in New York, and so they had these great big bags. But all these are those bands that the kids use, and they're just really tiny, and I think they're perfect for this card. So you're going to take a rubber band, and I just kind of pinch them together with my finger in there, pinching them, and I'm hooking them down on that little mechanism we made. And then this is where I liked this pattern, because I didn't have to tie anything. I didn't want to be tying a rubber band. I didn't feel like that would last for forever. Now, it looks like awful, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Yes, you can. Just keep going on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some score tape, and we're going to put a piece right here. It's okay if it wants to flatten back out. We're going to make it do what we want to do. And then we're going to take another piece of score tape, and we're going to put it on this side of the tab. Just like that. So we have a piece here and a piece here. So if you put it back out like this, you have a piece on this side and a piece on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this, and then we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue again all around the edges where we don't want it to be. And then we're going to take this corner right here, and we're going to put it along this, and we're going to line it up. And it's a little tricky, but keep going. You will get it. Don't, keep trying. It'll get there. And then you got this. Well, now we got to do this side. And if there's little pieces sticking out over here, cut them off. It's okay. It just means we didn't cut real perfect. If you use scissors, it'll still work. It's not going to not work. And then we'll take this off, and we're going to put this glue here, like so. And then again, we're going to take this piece. You're going to kind of push in with because you want this right kind of on the edge. You want them fairly close here. And if they're not real close, but you want it fairly close. See, I have a little tiny piece, and it just must be I didn't cut a good enough angle or whatever. I'm just going to go in there and trim it off. So now, to close the box, you just close it, and you kind of make sure these things go in when you do it. Like down on the bottom, they want to pop out and that. But first time, you just go like that, hold it down, boom. And when you do several of them, they all come flying out, and it's really cool. And then we can decorate this card. or the box. So for I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to come back in a few minutes, and I will add another part to the video. Hi everybody, so I'm back now, and I've gone ahead and I've done all 4 of my boxes. I like to put 4. You could put 5, 6 in this, maybe even 8. And the more boxes you put inside the box mechanism, the more it's going to give it that pop because of that pressure. So I have only tried 4, but it looks like there would definitely be enough room for 6. I'm thinking maybe 8, but so I've got that part done. So now we're going to make the box itself that those have to go into. So what you need for the box, for the bottom part of the box, you need a piece that is 5 1/4 by 7 1/4. I should open this up. Okay, and we're going to set this aside. And then we also need, let me get my other paper here. We need one that is 4 1/4. That's by 7 1/8. Okay, and then we will get the scoreboard out again. So we're going to get the scoreboard. Okay, on the box bottom, which is the 5 1/4 by 7 1/4, on the 5 1/4 inch side, we're going to score at 3/4. Then we're going to score at 1 1/2. Then we're going to score at 3 3/4. And then we're going to score at 4 1/2. Okay, then we're going to rotate it. And then on the 7 1/4 inch side, we're going to score at 3/4, 1 1/2, and 5 3/4. Yeah, make sure I'm at the right one. And then we're going to score at 6 1/2. Okay, so that's for the bottom. Well, now we're going to do the top. Why, we got it right here. And on the top one, on the 7 1/8 side, because this is 7 1/8 by 4 1/4. So on the 7 1/8 side, we're going to score at 7/8. Then we're going to score at 1 3/4. Then we're going to score at 4. And then we're going to score again at 4 7/8. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take the bottom half and we're going to cut out some pieces. Now I'm going to take maybe my marker here so I could show you what pieces we're going to cut. We're going to cut up to here on all 4 sides. Then we're going to cut this off and these off, and we're going to cut these off and these off. Okay, so I'll do that here with you. Now we're going to do some angle cuts. And I don't really have any like special amount. I just cut off what I think should be cut off. So now I've got another piece over here that I've got all set. And for this, well, wait, let's do one more thing before, because I didn't show you. On one of the two ends, it doesn't matter, you're going to punch a hole, come in from the side with your crocodile or whatever punch you have. And you're just going to punch 2 holes, and that's for your ribbon to go in. Now I'll bring in the other piece. I've got a piece here that I've kind of done some work already on. So once you stick your ribbon through, it's going to come out like this. Then you're going to tape it right here with any type of Scotch tape or double-sided tape, whatever you have. You're going to tape it. It's not necessary to put your designer series paper or whatever you want to decorate in first, but I do find it easier. So I put this designer series paper in. Now on my original design, I did not add these 2 pieces over here. They were supposed to go on the outside of the box, and I accidentally put them on this box. So if you want to add some here, you can. But in my original one, I never added anything but this one. So, but I wasn't going to rip them off. I already had it all done. Now, as you see, I have some score tape here, and I have score tape there. And then we're going to have, we put score tape on all of these tabs going this way. I double upped the box all the way around, only to give it more stability. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I find that having the extra paper there makes your box a little more sturdy. So now I'm going to be removing all the score tape here and making sure everything is where it's supposed to be. Got a little piece sticking out off over here. Get it up underneath. There we go. And then we'll do this side too. And all I'm doing is I'm going to bring this piece in. Oh, because I didn't score on the score lines. You might have to do that a little bit too. I should have done that first. I'll just do it right now real quick, because I don't want my tape to stick to anything. Looks like my paper on this one was a little big. I'll have to trim it. But anyway, so where end were we on? Sorry about this. We're on this end where I tore off the tape. We're going to bring this in. We're going to line them up just like that. Nice and even right along there. And we're going to go around and we're going to do that to all 4 sides. Okay, so there we have it. We have it so it looks like that. Now we're going to peel off these pieces on the end. I don't even know if you could see what I'm doing. And there we go. And this one, we're just going to push right down. You can always take your bone folder, whatever. I just rub my finger across it a few times just to get it really good right there. I didn't use the extra glue on this. I just felt like the box didn't need the extra glue, but the cubes did, because they are being bounced and you want everything just precise. So okay, so there's the box part. So now I'm going to bring in this other part that we already scored, and we're just going to score on all the score lines. And I've already gone ahead and decorated the outside of this box. So now all we're going to do is we're going to put some adhesive down along this end right here, and I'm using tear and tape. And for this one, I am going to put 2 pieces of tear and tape down here. And then I'm going to peel this up. And then while it's laying flat, I'm just going to line these up. Just like that. And then it's going to sit up. So it's like this. While I got this here, you can put a little message down in here. I did on my other one. I put a little message down in the bottom of the box. For right now, I made this with the whale punch set and well done set, and it says you're kind of a big deal, and in the background I stamped a turtle and pool party, and I did second generation stamping. So I stamped it once on scrap paper, then I stamped it on here to make it a little lighter, and then I stamped you're kind of a big deal in crystal coral right on top. So now I'm going to get some dimensionals. So I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to go, now at this point, this is where you could add confetti, maybe dollar bills. I mean, let me see. I have not done this. I have a few dollar bills up here, and I want to see what will happen. We'll see, because I don't know how this is going to work out. So we're going to make sure we close all these like this, and I'm going to put a dollar bill in between. And then I'm going to close this one. And this is normally where you would add confetti and everything. Now you just don't, when I gave mine to my husband, he knew something was going to happen, because on the very top one I had put confetti. My mistake. I should never have put the confetti there. I should have just put nothing on the very top one. So if you're going to put confetti or money or whatever you're going to put in here, don't put it on the top one if you want people to keep opening it and not realizing. The only other thing I thought, if you knew somebody that liked to scratch lottery tickets, the little like 7 ones, you could put one of them in there and they might think it's a whole thing of lottery tickets and then pull it out. So then once you get these all in here, we're going to put it in just like this. I'm going to clean up a little bit because I just want it to look nice when I do this. Okay, everybody, so this is how I did it. I take it and I slowly pull. Woo! The money does pop out with it, so you can put money in there. I mean, the possibilities, lottery tickets, whatever you want to do, you could put inside here. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of stuff, and you know, if I do another one, that'll be great. And I hope you guys all have a great Monday, and I will talk to you guys when I'm live on Wednesday at 2 o'clock on YouTube. So thanks for stopping in, and like, subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.